Okay, so this is a look at lesson 5, and it was started on Friday, August 28th. We will continue it on Monday, the 31st. We spent a good amount of time looking at the entrance ticket because it is something different that we've not done before. We started with our learning targets about finding the central idea of an informational text and how it's conveyed through details. I can summarize an informational text, and I can determine the meaning of unfamiliar words and phrases in a text. And so the entrance ticket today we did together in class, not as an assignment. And you needed to reference the affix list, which I will show you, and make a copy of the entrance ticket. So we just did this in notebooks, and so I would encourage you to do the same. I first wanted to talk about word parts. So that's what this entrance ticket is all about, is identifying word parts and each word part's meaning and the origin. I shared that my greater understanding and appreciation of our very difficult English language came from my 4 years of study of Latin and diagramming words. And so I wanted to give an example before we got into the actual entrance ticket assignment, looking at the word undoing. Undoing has all 3 word parts that we see in this table here. It has a prefix, it has a base, and it has a suffix. We talked about how a root and base are very similar. It's the kind of central part of the word where everything else stems from. The difference is that a root word cannot stand on its own, but a base word can. So if we look at this word undoing and are looking to diagram it and divide it into its word parts, I could identify that un is the prefix, do is the base because that is a word that could stand on its own, and then the ing is the suffix. So they wanted us to look at the word mythology and divide it into its word parts. I did give the hint that it does not have all 3 word parts. It has 2 of them. So we were able to identify that there was no prefix for mythology, that our base is myth because that is a word that can stand on its own. Therefore, our suffix is ology. And now we're going to reference the affix list. And this is something that you will reference in the future with other assignments that we do. And the affix list is divided by the word parts, starting with the prefix. And we don't have a prefix in mythology, so I'm going to scroll down looking for the roots or bases. And here we go. Notice all the Latin on the side, hence my understanding of English coming from studying Latin, because a lot of our words have their origin in other languages, and Latin is one of the most common. Okay, so here I have my base word myth, and it tells us that myth means a traditional story, anything delivered by word of mouth, and that its origin is Greek. So I'm going to go back and add that to our chart here. So Greek, and I'm going to add that it's a traditional story. What else did it say? Anything delivered by word of mouth. All right, now let's look for our suffix ology. Lots of people already knew that ology means the study of something. Let's go ahead and find it. So here we have L-O-G-Y, ology, and ologist, meaning science of, study of, one who studies. And again, we have an origin in Greek. So I am going to go back and add that, study of, and its origin is Greek. And by doing this, I can now give meaning to the word mythology, that it is the study of a traditional story or the study of anything delivered by word of mouth. This is going to be a great strategy that you can use in the future to identify unfamiliar words.